Welcome to the source.
Yeah, I had that. I think it was 2 seasons ago where I started off the season betting light, like half units. I was like, oh, I'm going to wait. And I started off hot. And then after like a month, I was like, all right, time to turn the units up. And then I went cold.
Hey, get the source.
Yeah, it was just that was, I think that was the 2022-2023 season. So like 2 months in, I was about even though I had been winning most of the season. So now I stopped doing that. I don't bet heavy in the beginning, but I don't take it super light either because I don't want that to happen ever again. What's up, everybody? Bringing Skee in now. Great Thursday night for me. I went 5-1 with my bets, but the best one, and not that I get off on shitting on the comments, but my Rams +3 and Rams moneyline pick got trashed in the YouTube comments. Like hundreds of people like, this guy is an idiot. He's working for Vegas. That's what everyone's I'm working for Vegas because I didn't want to lay a full 3 on the road with Sam Darnold against zone coverage. That means I'm working for Vegas. So yeah, I don't go and like talk shit to him, but what I do is I go back and I click the like button just so the notification pops up. Just so they see. So yeah, I went 5-1 last night. The Rams +3, the Rams money line being the that was awesome. I really wish it didn't end with that stupid missed call though, because the Rams were going to win the game, and the Rams +3 was clearly the right side start to finish, but that's a shitty way for it to end because that was a good football game. Should have let Sam Darnold have another shot, give him the 15. He would have thrown a pick anyway, but we should have seen it. We got a lot to get through today, so let's get right into it. I think I have 5 bets open, 4 or 5 NBA right now, and some college football. So we'll start off Sixers Raptors in Toronto, and I didn't place this bet. Kind of want to hear what these guys think. I don't know why I wouldn't go right back to what paid me out in the first Raptors game. Raptors team total under. Yeah, this team likes to pick up the pace, but if Quickly's not playing, they might not even be running the fastest pace. He's one of the guys that pushes the tempo for them. They have no offense. This team is trash. I mean, I'm not even a big believer in the Sixers without Embiid and Paul George. I mean, like they're a scrappy team, but this team is so. I don't know if I've ever seen a team tanking in game 1 before. They look awful, and I just don't think they have the pieces to put the ball in the net. Plain and simple. Where you get into trouble with a bet like this, it's a team total under 107.5. It's not the highest number. The pace of this game could be crazy. Both teams could be sprinting up and down the court for 40 minutes. So this is the way I'd go. I'd go right back. I hit on Raptors team total under 109.5 in their first game. I would go right back to it. But currently, this isn't a bet. I don't have a bet on this game. Either you guys?
Well, I like that bet. I mean, you're missing a lot of firepower for this Raptors team. I mean, 4 key players, right? Quickly, RJ Barrett, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk. I mean, it's a lot of guys that you just can't trust. I'll say this. It's only one guy in the starting lineup for Toronto who's ever averaged 30 minutes per game in a season. So those are not guys that I would be trusting with my hard-earned money. That's just all I'm going to say. So I like your team total under. I think the Sixers can score, and I think they're motivated, especially Mac after I'm going to go with the Sixers. You can put the Sixers for me. Yeah, Sixers for me. But Maxey, they were asking him after the game, like, is this how it's going to be without Embiid again? Blah, blah. He's like, it's been one game, man. Like, he don't want to hear it. So I think all the work he's put in the offseason, he's going to come in and play a really good game here today against a team that is less than right now. So Philly -5, and I like your bet, Kyle. What do you think, Chris?
Hey, it's a weird time to ask. I didn't see that interview, but it's a weird time to ask Maxey that the opener against a Bucks team that you know is trying to make a statement early based on how that season ends. It's a team with a lot of talent. You're not expected to win that game. That's a crazy time to ask that question. They're just trying to get headlines, though. I get it, just doing their job. But that is a crazy question to ask Maxey. Chris, what do you think?
I think they asked him that because Joel Embiid, like in the games that Joel Embiid didn't play last season, I'm trying to pull it up real quick. They were 16 and 27 last season in the games that Joel Embiid didn't play.
That's a lot of games.
Right, yeah. And then in the games that he did play, they were 34 and 12. So, and I'm like ATS, all that good stuff was different and flipped. But I agree with what both of you guys are saying. I think it leads to what Skee has, which is the -5. But I played the Philadelphia team total up and over 111.5. I mean, they've been giving it up, right? We just go back and look at the numbers from last season. In game 1, it was like 137.3 points per 100 possessions in points per 100 possessions in that Cleveland game. And they're picking up right back where they left off. Cleveland shot 58% from the field, 47% from three. They scored 136 points. And you go back to after the All-Star break, this Toronto team last season was the second worst defensive team, giving up 120.8 points per 100 possessions after the All-Star break and allowing teams to shoot 58%. Like, it's not a lot of math that needs to go in there. I can read off the team totals for you guys. They're really high, like 140, 122, 128, 135, 145. So, yeah, this team is going to continue to give up points. When you got Grady Dick out there and he might end up getting switched on Tyrese Maxey coming off a loss, yeah, I Kelly Oubre points over. It's a lot of different ways to get paid, but I'll take Philly team total. I play up and over 111.5. I think it has moved up a little bit to 112.5, but I mean, what's stopping them from getting to 115 here?
What's stopping them from getting to 140? I mean, this team's just awful. I mean, and trust me, like if there is an angle to get to Toronto +5, I would find it. Everyone's going to be hitting Philly here, but I just don't think there's any reason to like. They're going to have to show. I'm going to need 2 strong efforts in a row from Toronto before I consider betting them in any capacity. But let's move on to the next game. Brooklyn, Orlando went back to the Nets. And okay, so I know maybe some of you saw the end. For those of you that didn't watch the Nets Hawks game, I had Nets +8 in that one, and I cashed. So some of you may have saw the end. Cam Thomas hit a couple of circus 3-point shots to make it a 2-point game. So if you just saw those highlights, you might think, oh, the Hawks were beating them, and then Cam Thomas made it look close. That's how it looked at the end of the game. But if you watch that game, the Nets look. I don't want to say look like the better team, but the Nets were in control. They were grabbing rebounds. They were getting to loose balls. And then what happened was in the fourth quarter. Who was it for the Nets? I think it might have been Claxton, like clotheslined the shit out of somebody on the Hawks and got a flagrant. And then there was another hard foul right after that actually got reviewed, and it wasn't that bad. But there were a couple plays in a row where the game went from knotted up to the Hawks up 9. It wasn't like that the whole game. That was a very competitive game. I like the effort the Nets gave. I don't think this number should be 11.5. That being said, I still don't think the Nets are a good team. I know Orlando looked really impressive in their opener. Here's what I'll say, though. Check this out. So the Orlando Magic had 33 3-point attempts that were considered wide open by NBA.com advanced stats. That means 6 feet or more of space. 33 wide open 3-point attempts. Spoilers, if you're going to give your opponent 33 wide open threes, you're going to lose a lot of basketball games. And the Nets only let the Hawks get 12 wide open 3-point attempts. So all those open looks Orlando got against Miami, the Nets weren't letting Atlanta get those shots. So I think it's a little bit of a sell high on Orlando early. I know they were very good as home favorites last year. Not a huge bet, but I took the big number here with Brooklyn.
My thought process for what you just said is they didn't respect Orlando. They wanted them to shoot those shots. They said, you couldn't shoot all last year. Show us you can shoot, and then we'll guard you. Whereas, you can't really, nobody thinks to do that with Atlanta. So that's how I make sense of it. Last season, I always had a hard time back in Orlando when they were laying a decent number, and I feel like they always covered. I do think they've convinced me that they're a good team. I did bet their win total over. It's just 11.5. That's a lot. So I'll watch this one live. I'll lean Orlando for now, but I'll watch it live, and if I can get a better number, I'll come jump in.
So a slight lean on Orlando, he said. And he's right. Orlando as home favorites. I don't have it in front of me, but they were one of the better teams in the NBA covering, laying points at home. So, I mean, maybe that makes a little bit of sense of the line. Chris?
I got the numbers right in front of me because I did bet Orlando. I bet
Orlando too?
Minus 11.5, yeah. And the reason why, because I'm not somebody that lays both of you guys know, I don't like. It's hard for me to lay double digits, especially this early in the season. But those numbers, I was like, I was waking up this morning capping this game, and I'm like, hold on, what percentage is that? So 22-4 straight up, 22-4 straight up, 22-6 against the number last season. They were home.
Man,
wait, 22-6.
24-4 straight up, 22-6 against the spread as a home favorite last season. 78.6%, Kyle. You don't got to do the math. And if they were laying double digits, they were 9-0 straight up, 7-2 against the number.
I thought it was 60%. I was like, I know they're good, but I didn't know it was like freaking 78%.
Conversely, Brooklyn finished 0-7 as road dogs, as double-digit road dogs, and they were 2-5. So they covered 28% of the time in this spot last season. So the other thing I looked at was like, I just think, like post-game interview, they were asking Orlando about the game, and everybody kind of had the same message. Like, this is the new standard. Like, this is what we want to do. I know they got a game tomorrow. They do play Memphis tomorrow. But another thing I looked at was Skee got me looking into these early season trends. So since 2014, double-digit home favorites who won game one by 30 or more, they're 12-4-1 against the number in the next game. That applies to Orlando today, and it applies to Cleveland today as well. And since 2002, double-digit road dogs in game twos where they covered game one, just 3-11 against the spread in game twos. So that says that because Brooklyn also like fouled a lot. I think they fouled more than any team. Nicholas Claxton, like, I know he got ejected in the last game, Kyle, but he's like, he didn't play any preseason, so he potentially could, he's not going to play 30, 35 minutes in this game. And I think it's going to be difficult for Cam Thomas, who really probably was the big point for them to score all those points because he had 36. I don't think that's going to happen again. So I guess I lean under 2 because I think Brooklyn's going to find trouble scoring here, but I did lay the 11.5 with Orlando.
I thought about an under also, so I agree with that.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Chris, if you can or if you know, what was Orlando that home favorite role on the front end of a back-to-back?
Let's look at it real quick. It'll take me 5 seconds to pull it up.
Hopefully a lot worse. As somebody who's literally holding a Nets ticket.
They were 3-1 straight up, 2-2 against the number home favorite. Okay. With first leg of back.
Not shit isn't looking as sweet anymore. All right, so the community agrees with you guys. 51%, 34% in favor of Orlando. Let's move on to the next game, and the next game is Charlotte, Atlanta. I have a bet. I don't really like it.
I don't know points, did you, Kyle?
No, I'm on the Hornets, but I don't know what the odds makers' obsession is with the Atlanta Hawks. What the is it just me or
Trae Young? It's Trae Young. Like, wouldn't you say the same thing, Skee? I feel like
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I think it's more they're not respecting the Hornets more so than they respect Atlanta.
I was coming in with that too.
But I mean, they were just laying 8 last night too, or to the other night too. They love the Hawks. I don't know what do they think the Hawks are a 3 seed? Did they not watch last season? These teams not that good.
Same thing, Kyle. They were 29-54 against the number, 38%, which by far like the worst percentage in the NBA last season. It was the worst percentage I think over the last like 4 or 5 years. But they just continue to lay points. So yeah, go ahead, Kyle. I'm on Charlotte too though. I did take them plus 5.5.
Well, I feel like I did this a million times last year where I look at the line and I'm like, okay, obviously Hornets. And then I'm like, wait, like what the fuck? Like why are they laying this big number? And then I think we need to, at least until shit changes, we need to just keep that in our mind that, they're high when they make the Hawks lines. Don't overthink it. Just take the other side. If you remember, the Hawks were laying points a lot early last year, especially at home, and they got off to a historically bad start against the number. I think it was something crazy. It was like 5-27 against the spread, or something truly nuts. Where every single game, it's like, what? They're laying 5 again? What are they watching the same teams? I mean, Hornets look good in the opener. I don't love this bet. I do have money down on it. I bet the Hornets at this number plus 5.5. Don't love it though. Skee?
I wouldn't dare bet either one of these teams tonight. So you guys are very brave. One thing I'll say is if I'm playing this one, it has to be the total. I would look towards the under. I mean, I think that's who the Hornets are now. The coach been talking about preaching defense. When you have LaMelo out there, playing defense like that, that's a culture change. So between that, Brandon Miller and Bogdanovich out in this game, I think it can stay under 227 or whatever the best number is right now.
Under 227. Yeah, I'm not mad at an under. I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like everyone's betting the Hornets. Not that should scare me off or anything. I just don't love it. But all right, let's move on to the next game. By the way, that poll, 61%, 25% Hornets. So yeah, we're as far as the viewers, everyone's betting Charlotte here. Next up, Pacers, Knicks, and I hate to say it, we might need a couple weeks, guys. We might need a couple weeks.
At least he's honest, Skee.
I honestly there should have been a doctor on hand. Tibbs probably was having stress fracture, like all kinds of situations after that game. Because what was happening against the Celtics is just the shit that Thibodeau hates. I mean, guys out of position. The amount of I don't really know how to describe it, but the amount of times that the Celtics got exactly the shot they wanted to get on that possession. Like, your job as an NBA defense, figure out what they're trying to do and stop them from getting that shot. And the Celtics got literally exactly the shot they wanted on every possession. Not most of them. Every single possession, whatever was drawn up, they got that shot. So the Knicks were not able to disrupt anything that Boston was trying to do offensively. And the reason that's worrisome for me as a Knicks fan, that's what Thibodeau does. It's kind of like what Spoelstra does, too. He tries to take away what you're trying to do. So I do think that as far as how they match up, maybe they match up a little bit better against Indiana, who want to attack the rim. They want to get out and run. But until I need to see the new rotation for the Knicks gelling a little bit better before I lay a number to a team I expect to be in the top 4 or 5 in the Eastern Conference. I'm not laying points to the Pacers. So it would only be Pacers for me, but actually the bet I almost placed was right here. Pacers team total over 111.5. I know that on the road Pacers unders were cashing last year, but another thing we saw from the Knicks in the opener against Boston, every time the Celtics turned the tempo up and started to run, the Knicks were happy to run with them. So it seems like this Knicks team, like if you want to turn the pace up, they're down to play that type of game. We saw it in the series against Indiana last year as well. This Knicks team is down to run with you if you want to run, and we know the Pacers want to run. So I could see this game being pretty fast-paced and high-scoring. Pacers being underdogs, 111.5 doesn't seem too unreasonable. The Knicks defense, we know they have the pieces. We know they have the defensive pieces there, but playing defense in the NBA is not an individual thing. It's about, having chemistry with your teammates, being in the right spot, understanding where and they didn't look like they had any of that in the opener against Boston. So, guys, you remember when the Mets were 0-5? You guys were all in the comments making fun of me, and I was like, guys, chill. Just chill. We'll revisit this in a couple weeks. We need a couple weeks. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. But that being said, I'm not laying points with the Knicks right now until they show me something.
I remember my Dodgers versus the Mets. That's what I remember. But
dark times. Dark times.
If I'm playing this one, it's a one-way ticket for me. Pacers plus 4.5. And a lot of the things that you said about the Knicks, I agree with. It's definitely going to take some time. We don't know. Are we going to get Bridges shooting the new way or the good way? Which way is he going to shoot? It's going to take some time for everything to work out in New York for me. So I know everybody wants them to get playoff revenge today, but has that even really been a thing? I looked up this query. First 10 games of the season, home favorites seeking playoff revenge after losing the previous game. 5-12 straight up, 4-12-1 ATS. They're not getting that revenge. The Pacers, they have that continuity. They're deep. You can really just, sub 2 units in back and forth and not have any drop off. And I think that's where the Knicks, are not able to capitalize and run away with this game. Like, the Pacers are going to be able to compete whenever the bench is in. So if you like New York, I would suggest that you take first quarter. Other than that, I would be looking at Indiana full game.
Agreed. S-Dot is in the comments. Knicks will not improve from last year. I'm surprised you're even able to show your face this morning, S-Dot, after what your boys did on your home floor against your little brother, the Magic. I'm surprised you were even, I would have came on under a different Gmail so we couldn't see it was you. I'm surprised you're out in public right now. You got dogged out by your little brother, the Magic. S-Dot. All right, Chris.
Magic said they big brother now. They said they big brother. They won in that division this year. I won't add much. I know we got a big slate, and I agree with everything you guys said. We talked about this the other day, Kyle. The one thing that the Knicks do really, really well, and one thing that really helped them a lot was their offensive rebounding last year. And they don't have those rebounders right now either, especially without Achua being down there. The Pacers, as to your point, Kyle, you made about Pacers team total over. last season when they were after the All-Star break, when they were road dogs, 6-8 straight up, 8-6 against the number, 10-4 to the over. So they were scoring. Those games were going over by average of 15 points. So the Knicks defense, the Knicks offense wasn't a problem. I think they still shot like above 50% for the game the other day. So I think I'd be looking towards the over here too. Both teams probably playing fast. But yeah, it'd be Pacers. I'm not laying with the Knicks anytime soon. And Skee said, I don't know if we get Mikal new shot or good shot, which is not the opposite of each other. But that was
my
funny.
friends were texting me talking shit about that, and I was like, it's not that bad. Then I saw it on Twitter, like a clip of it. I was like, oh, is he punking us? Oh no, he's really shooting like that.
But you saw him change it though. He was like, forget it. I'm gonna go back to my old shot.
He looks indecisive out there.
Brunson 30 ball, Kyle, also probably makes a lot of sense. I think his points probably sitting at 28.5. Like he should absolutely go crazy, especially if we don't think that we're gonna be able to rely on Mikal Bridges' new or old or whatever we want to call his jump shot. And Jordan, same thing with Josh Hart. He's saying that he's like not a part of the, like he doesn't know his role for the team. Blah 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 blah. Like outside of Miles McBride and Jalen Brunson, like we'll see who else scores. Karl-Anthony Towns should have a bounce back game because OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam's not the greatest defender, but yeah, that's the only way I would probably look to play this.
Agreed.
McBride knows his role. Get buckets.
Yeah, and he's nice at it too. I like McBride.
He really is.
This next game, I'm gonna let you guys talk. I don't have a bet on it. I'll just put a graphic up. I know everyone's liking what they saw from Detroit. The way I saw it was everything went the Pistons' way for 3 quarters, and they still couldn't win. I don't like fading the Cavs at home. I think they run Detroit out of the building here. We're all talking about how bad the Raptors looked in the opener and not really mentioning that Cleveland looked pretty impressive. We know the Cavs are a team that plays better at home. Didn't bet this, not trying to lay this big number this early in the season. But personally, you put a gun to my head and ask me what I think is going to happen in this game. I think Cleveland runs them right out of the building. So this is the way I want to go. Didn't bet this game.
Nah, man. Say it with your chest. I want the belt back.
I'm not putting that. Nah, no belt. No belt. Hey, if you're going to stand on your Lakers podium later, we could talk, though.
All right, we'll have a discussion. We'll have a little discussion. But I got to go with the Pistons plus 11, I think, here, man. I'm the other way. The Cavaliers are not that good. The Cavaliers have shown me who they are time and time again. They just happened to go into a Toronto team who had nobody, quickly got hurt during the game. Like I said, they had no one person who's averaged 30 minutes per game in a season on that court. So I don't care that the Cavs won by that many points in that first game. The Pistons, yes, they look good. You can say for whatever reason, but one thing, this is my opinion, they were embarrassed really bad last year. And they don't want to feel like that again. It's the beginning of the season. They don't think they're terrible or bad. They think they can compete. They did compete in that first game. The Pistons have also covered, I think, 4 of the last 5 versus the Cavs. They cover another one tonight.
Pistons plus 11. Chris, you with them?
No, but if I didn't play the side though. I played the total. I actually like this total. It's actually my favorite total on the board. I played the under. I know the Cavs want to play fast. That's what Atkinson wants to do. But both of these teams on the first leg of a back-to-back. Detroit got Boston tomorrow, and they both have to travel. So road home back-to-back for Detroit with Boston tomorrow. Cleveland, home road back-to-back. Granted, it's the Wizards, but they still got to get on the flight today. You got Bickerstaff going back against his old team. If anybody knows how to potentially slow down like this team, it would be the coach that just coached them for the last few years. And 4 to 5, Skee mentioned Detroit covering those games, which I think Detroit can. Here's the thing that scares me off. But before I guess I'll bookmark that. Here's the thing that scares me off just a tad bit, Skee, and I guess I would take the points before I lay them here. Is like Cleveland last year, because I watched that whole game, their first game against Indiana. Cleveland last year and Cleveland in game 1, to me, not Cleveland, Detroit in game 1, they kind of look like the same versions of themselves as far as like being able to close the game. Like they lost the fourth quarter by, I think it was 33-19. They got outscored by 14, failed to cover by half a point. So it could be a situation where this is a much better team, like a much better defensive team, the Cleveland Cavaliers over the Indiana Pacers. So like they just got their water cut off late. And I think That's what we talk about, chemistry and camaraderie at the end of the games, and I don't think they have that yet. Now, going back to my total, game twos, this is a Skee trend. Game two, where both teams are playing on the first leg of a back-to-back, in the history of the Killer Sports database are 46, 25, and 2 to the under. That's 64.8%. Then you got favorites coming off a big win, because I am in agreement with Skee that I think Cleveland is like better than Skee is saying, but I also think Cleveland was playing against a G League team in the Toronto Raptors the other day. So that 136 points and 58% shooting from the field, I expect some regression there. Favorites coming off a 25-point win or more in the first 5 games of a season, 39, 15, and 3 to the under, 72%. Last thing, the Cavs, I said they shot 58% from the field in that game against Toronto. Last season, they only shot 55% or better 5 times. They were 4-1 to the under, came back down to earth in every single game afterwards. Those games stayed under by an average of 13 points. I'm not a big believer in Detroit's offense quite yet. I think Cleveland matches up really well. And I also don't think Cleveland going to get to 120 points. Their team total is 119. So I think Detroit's improved defensively a little bit, and I'll take the under. 227.5 is what I got.
Someone said they like the Pistons plus 30 in this one. Where'd you find that line? What book you using? Send me the link. All right, next up. Memphis, Houston. I have my finger on the trigger of this bet. I kind of wanted to see what these guys think first. What do you guys think about it getting up and over 225.5? I'm indifferent about it. I feel like without Jaren Jackson Jr., the Grizzlies have a little bit of a different identity, obviously with John Morant as well. Speaking of which, was he not playing in the fourth quarter? What the hell was that?
Man, that frustrated the hell out of me. Jenkins, I don't know what he was doing all game. The rotations were just terrible. I don't even think he played 30 minutes. Like the fourth quarter, he didn't come back in until like 4 minutes left. When the other team was catching back up, it's when he wouldn't put Ja back in. Like it looked ridiculous what Jenkins was doing out there coaching.
Yeah, because I turned it on. I had it on a small TV, and I turned it on towards the end when the other games ended. And obviously, I had Jazz plus 3, so I was rooting for Utah. And I was like, wait a second, where the hell's Morant? Is he not out there? And then clock was ticking down, and it was like 3 minutes he came back in the game. I didn't really understand. I thought maybe he was in foul trouble because I wasn't intently watching. So, yeah, that's just a rotation thing. Weird. But, yeah, I'll put the graphic up. This is the way I want to go is over, but I don't have this bet down. If you guys are down to co-sign it, I'll place it, but as of right now, it's just over a pass for me here. I kind of want to bet the Rockets, but I just took a loss with the Rockets. I laid the 7 against Charlotte, and I was looking like the man at halftime. The team just collapsed in the second half. Charlotte started playing some defense. So over a pass. What do you guys think?
I will not endorse it for one simple reason. I do not believe in getting, the ass end of the line. The line opened 217.5, 8-point move. If you do that over time, you will be a losing better. So for that reason, I would say no. If I'm betting this game, I think, you heard me talk about the coach. I think Memphis got to figure out what they're doing. The coach has to figure out what he's doing. I don't know if John Morant needs conditioning or, whatever the case is. And then on the flip side, I think that Houston is well coached. I do think that they're supposed to take another step forward this year. And after blowing that game, I know they're going to be focused in this one. So I will be looking towards back in Houston for them to be the favorite in this game and the line to go up their way even more. Like, that's speaking to me. So Houston or pass for me.
All right, cool. As far as the side, I was leaning that way. Chris?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of leaning that way too. And for Houston, I guess for Memphis, no Jared Jackson Jr. really means a lot. I didn't bet the game. If I was to bet the game, I don't think I bet the side of the total though, because I agree with Skee. And I agree with you too, Kyle. Both of you guys like the over, but I wrote this down last night at 218. So when you said 220, I was like, what? The total went up that high? I hadn't even checked it again. So yeah, I don't want to get to the end of the line. This is how I would play it though. I would play Sengun over on his points plus rebounds. The number is 30.5, and I think that he eats again tonight. Walker Kessler in that game against Utah. We got to remember, no Jared Jackson Jr. down there. They got what's his name? They got Zach Edey, right? And it's gonna take him a while to get adjusted. Walker Kessler had 16 points and 14 rebounds on 6 for 7 shooting in game 1. Lauri Markkanen in that same game, front court mate, 35 and 9 on 9 for 15 shooting. So what that tells me is that without Jared Jackson Jr., they're going to struggle to protect the rim. Sengun had 25 points and 18 rebounds versus Charlotte, and that was Nick Richards is a pretty good, like he's okay. He's not the worst defender in the world on 10 for 22 shooting. I think the usage is going to be high again, and I think that's how you attack the Memphis Grizzlies in this game. So I like Sengun. We just need 23 and 10 or 23 and 9.
You said that was PRAs, you said, for Sengun?
Just points plus rebounds. I didn't even look at his assists because Fred VanVleet can do that. But I do think he's going to have a big game offensively. So his points plus rebounds, 30.5 for Sengun. I think it was like minus 105. That's my favorite bet in this game because I didn't want to play this out of the total.
Let's see if I have a graphic for that so I can put it up real quick.
You probably don't because I capped it after I did my show.
Oh, yeah. Andy watches your show and makes graphics of your picks.
Shout out to Andy, man. Shout out to Andy. Listening to me talk for hours.
So our poll split even on this one, 46%, 44%. So the viewers are pretty split between Grizzlies and Rockets. I do think this Grizzlies team has a chance of being good this year, so didn't want to make a habit of fading them. I took the Jazz in game one. Was lucky to get the cover there with that last-second miracle marking 3, which I appreciate. I'll order a jersey or something. Bulls, Bucks. This is probably my biggest pass on the board, to be honest. I mean, I know first glance, division game, Bulls can play these guys tough. The rivals, you take the 9. That being said, I didn't watch a ton of the Bulls-Pelicans game. It didn't look like they were very competitive in that. I'll put a Bulls logo up under my face so you guys have a pick for the game, but don't tail that. If one of these guys are more confident, listen to them because I got nothing here.
I'll go with a prop. I'll go with Giddey over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I did take it last game. It did not hit. But the thing that I forgot or that stood out was that, still got to think about Lonzo over there having some of that point guard work too. But for this game tonight, Lonzo's not playing. So between that, Giddey, he's been asking for his bigger role. When he's gotten a lot of minutes in previous years, he's produced 30-plus PRA. So 25.5, I'm going to roll with Giddey one more time. If he don't get it this time, hey, man, you going in the trash can.
So you said 25.5 PRA, you said?
Yep.
All right, Giddey over 25.5 PRA. So, okay, so you're saying without Lonzo. Okay, I follow what you're saying. That makes sense. I like Giddey. Well, the way he plays. How about leave it at that? I'm not going to go any further down that avenue. I like the way he plays. How about that?
Nobody else likes him. They boo him everywhere he goes.
Oh, I know. I mean, can't say I argue with that. I didn't really even think of that. I started to speak, and I was like, hold up. Chris, what are your thoughts here?
I guess while we're talking about Giddey, while it makes a lot of sense, I wanted to get there with the play on Giddey today too. But this is so Giddey actually got OKC next. They play on Sunday. Like that was the thing that kind of made me think that maybe he saves a little bit here. I don't really have a strong look here either way. I do think Milwaukee is out for blood. Chicago, don't put their graphic underneath my name, Cal, because we both were on them on opening night for them a couple of days ago, and they look terrible. They just couldn't get a stop. Like that kind of makes me think that Milwaukee's offense, in my opinion, is going to be better than the Pelicans' offense, and the Bulls are still going to be, they're going to be who they are. Like I wanted to play over, but like I don't know if the Bulls are going to contribute as much. I know Kobe White shot the ball pretty poorly in the last game. I'm not sure if he's going to bounce back. Zach LaVine, I don't expect to have as good of a game, but I do think the Bucks are going to continue to score the basketball. Damian Lillard talked about in the offseason, like really taking it, serious this year. And you kind of saw it in that game against Philly. They smoked Philly, scored 124 points in that game on the road in Philly. And I know they didn't have Embiid in that game, but I kind of feel like the Bucks should be able to score. So I guess Bucks team total over if I had to play anything, but it's not one of the games that I like a lot on the board at all.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I got trashed in the comments for that. Saying I like Giddey. Oh man. I'm not a pop culture person, so I forget shit like that. Yeah. Anyway,
what the comments say? They probably say you're not young enough.
There's a lot of them. But all right, next up, Golden State on the road at Utah. This was a straight pass for me at 3. I gotta say, I'm seeing a 6. Look, the Warriors looked really impressive against Portland. You don't want to play
There's
around.
There's 7s too.
There's 7s now? Man,
7.
you don't want to play around with the Jazz in Utah. It's a different type of atmosphere there. I will say matchup-wise, it's not the best. The Jazz are a weak team defensively on the perimeter, as I'm sure you know by now. Golden State's capable of shooting the three-point shot. They have the best ever do it on the team. So matchup-wise, it's not great for Utah. But, I mean, I just know that you probably shouldn't lay 7 to the Jazz in Utah. That wouldn't be a profitable decision to make over time. I don't know. I haven't bet it yet. If you got Golden State -3, I'd say that's a good bet. But now that we're up here, up at 7, it would only be Utah at this number, right? I mean, you can't like Golden State -7.
I don't have very much to add. I agree with what you said. In that altitude, and this is a team that over the years has played Golden State relatively close. So getting up to 7, you're starting to get a little bit too high. I might have to jump on the Jazz side too.
Yeah, at this number, it would only be Jazz. Someone told me last night in the Discord, was like, Kyle, take Golden State now. They said that, too. They completely called it. I didn't listen. I was like, sweet, man. they're sitting on some CLV. If whoever that was, I'm going to send you I'll search and send you an apology lately because you called that. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I won't add much either. Jazz were home dogs last year 28 times, and they finished 16-12, and they lost by average of 2 points. Like, that's exactly what you guys are saying. Like, they're going to keep it close, and I think, like you said, if you could have got the better number, for sure wanted to get the better number. I think if you want Golden State at all, I know that they started off pretty slow against Portland the other day, but you probably want to play Golden State early, I think first half, because it feels like the altitude kicks in the second half for whatever reason. So I think if you like Golden State, you probably want to play first half, like maybe a 3.5 is out there. Because like you said,
you said if you like Golden State,
if you like Golden State,
but you don't.
No. If I'm playing, I'm with you guys. I'm taking the +7. I think they can keep it within the number. I know Golden State, strength by numbers again. But 7 a tad bit too much to lay in that altitude in Golden State. So in that altitude in Utah. So if I wanted Golden State, I'm playing early, 3.5. But I'm playing full game. I'm with you guys. I'm taking the +7.
All right. So we all feel similar about that game. I don't have a bet on it though. I mean, how about this? So you guys, obviously, we're gonna end the show. You won't know what I'm doing. If it hits 8, you have my word. I'll place a bet. If it hits 8. There you go. That way we could stick to something. At 7, I don't know. I didn't really feel too strongly about a lot of NBA games. I don't have a ton of bets open, so not trying to force anything. But you know what? I said that yesterday. I went 2-0, so who knows? Pelicans, Blazers in Portland.
Saving the best for last, huh?
Yeah. That's my favorite bet of the day, too. Phoenix is about to shoot 60% in that building. All right. New Orleans, Portland in Portland. Yo, I don't even have anything to say. I have no idea. I'm not laying 6 on the road with New Orleans. You're crazy. But also, after the effort we saw from Portland in the opener, man, no. I don't even have – my lean in the Portland Golden State game was under. Golden State almost put up 160 points in the game by themselves. I'm good. Staying out.
I'll jump in for at least 12 minutes. How about that? The Blazers were competitive in that first game for the first quarter. And that's kind of how I viewed them. I said that in my previews of this season. Like, their starting 5 is good. I know they're missing Sharp today, but their starting 5 is good. And I feel like they can compete with most teams. It's when the bench comes in, you don't want to trust those guys. So, New Orleans, they're missing DeJounte Murray. They're missing Murphy. I think, Portland can do enough to keep this one close. +1.5 in the first quarter. That's what I'll rock with.
You're a brave man, Skee. You are a brave man. Is there a line on that?
+1.5.
+1.5. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, and the way you described it does make sense. I will agree with that. Chris,
I'm with you, Kyle. I got nothing. But Skee makes it. I do think Blazers early. I would want more than a point though. I just feel like a heave at the last second or something like it. Just scares me off of even taking the +1.5. But I would lean with Skee early. The Blazers are gonna be, in my opinion, they still gonna be bad, like Skee said. So yeah, I didn't bet this one. This I will say, just so people know, this is like the first of one of those like little mini back-to-back series. They play, both of these teams play again, I think, on like Sunday, I think, in Portland too. So I typically stay away from those spots. I think if I had to play anything, it would be probably Aiden over his rebounds. Just because it feels like the minute's going to be there. I think the number's 10.5. The Pels don't have a true center, right? They started Daniel Tice at the center position. Aiden played 31 minutes against Golden State. He had 10 boards there. Vucevic just had 11 boards in the Chicago and New Orleans game as well. So they're playing a little bit of defense, and we think that this Pelicans offense may be limited because they don't have DeJounte Murray, who fractured his hand. Then I think the rebounds do find Aiden. Also, no Trey Murphy. So yeah, I think I would probably play Aiden over his rebounds if I'm playing anything. But that's just the lean to. I didn't play that.
Aiden over rebounds. Got it. All right, let's move on to the final game. I wasn't lying. This is my favorite bet of the day, but it's kind of just because I don't really like anything else. It's way too early in the season for me to be like, this is a top bet, but I'm not lying. This is my favorite bet of the day. We know the Lakers are a hot and cold team. We saw their best fastball the other night against a team they match up with better. Minnesota tries to take it into the interior. That's what the Lakers defense wants you to do. That's how this Lakers defense is built. They want to force you to take jump shots because of they want to take the buckets away at the basket. Suns are happy to stay out there and shoot jump shots. In fact, that's what they want to do, and they're going to splash them all night in this one. Suns, yeah, I mean, I'm not really reading too much into the game against the Clippers. Clippers are a scrappy team, even without Kawhi. I feel like they're always competitive. I like the Suns to come in here and win this game. The Lakers, you see their best fastball, and then you see a terrible fastball. I think the Suns might boat race them here. I'm on the money line +2, but again, this is my favorite bet of the night, but chill. Like, it's early in the season. I'll put the belt up. If someone wants to put a Lakers logo up, I'll put the belt up.
Man.
And I don't want the 1.5. Money line.
Oh, you talking spicy now, Kyle. I gotta take your offer on this one because Phoenix should have beat the Clippers by more than what they did. They shouldn't have to fight tooth and nail to go to overtime and barely win. Like, they have clearly more talent than what the Clippers have on their roster. And to see them still struggle out the gate like that, it's a red flag for me. Meanwhile, the Lakers look like a completely different team on offense. I mean, JJ Redick, he's put so much new and good things into that offense. I'm rocking with it. Darvin Ham, he was terrible. That's why the Lakers throw you a good fastball, then a terrible one the next. Now they're playing for a coach who actually knows what he's doing. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Lakers until they show me otherwise not to. Phoenix was giving it up in the paint. What, they give up like 60 points in the paint to the Clippers? Yeah. What do you think AD is going to do tonight? What do you think LeBron's going to do tonight? I like the Lakers.
Giving up the points to the paint to the Clippers is not a great look. I'm not thrilled with that. Last year, the Phoenix wasn't a terrible team on the interior defensively. I mean, they weren't great, but they weren't terrible. I like the jump shooters. But again, you make a point about JJ Redick. Maybe this is a new Lakers team with a new look to them. Last year, the Lakers struggled defensively against jump shooters, so this would be a prime matchup to fade them. But you're right. Maybe this is a new Lakers team. Maybe they're all good fastballs. I find it hard to believe. I think we're going to see a shitty one, personally. I think it's going to be hilarious. I think Twitter's going to be trolling them. I think Bronny jokes are coming out. I'm going to be there for it. Suns up.
Well, if the Lakers lose, they'll be trolling me.
Yeah. I think some of that, too. Chris, break the tie.
Man, I really want to break the tie and be with Skee here because I got the championship sweatshirt on.
That's right. That's right.
So I guess put the Lakers up for me too, Kyle. I'm about a Kool-Aid that JJ Redick's selling, that he's selling right now, that he's making in the kitchen. The thing that Skee made a lot of good points. I'll say this, y'all, and I know it's really early to kind of talk about overtime games, but when you look at teams that are coming off overtime, specifically in game ones, they're dogging game twos, 6-13 straight up. And I mean, literally what we need is just for the Lakers to win the game. So, money line bet on the Lakers could, make this 69% trend profit, continue to be profitable as well. So, I just feel like sometimes the basketball guys don't reward you for doing stupid things, like going to overtime with the Clippers. Like, So I'm somebody who made money with I bet Phoenix in that game at the end of the third quarter because they were down 2, I think it was, and the money line was like -145, I think, when I played it. And then immediately when I make the bet, the Clippers go on like a 10-0 run and they go up by 10, and I'm like, come on, this is the same Phoenix team we saw last year. Like, what are they doing? They have to battle all the way back, guys getting fouled out. And that could also come with some chemistry. Mike Budenholzer being over there now. I do think that Tyus Jones being at the point guard position is going to be helpful for the team, but I'll take AD in the paint over probably Nurkic getting fouled out in this game. Give me the Lakers. I'll take the Lakers -1.5.
Don't you guys agree? And fair warning, what I'm about to say might make no sense at all. But don't you think that this is a more important game for the Suns than it is the Lakers? I feel like Durant, who maybe he's a little spiteful at times. Like, I think he cares more about beating the Lakers in LA than LeBron and them do about beating the Suns right now. I feel like this is more of a big game for the Suns than it is the Lakers. The Lakers beat the T-Wolves. That was a way bigger game, and I feel like this is the one the Suns had circled. And as I'm saying this, I realize it sounds kind of idiotic, and I'm going to stop. But
No. I think there's some legitimacy there, Cal. What I'll say about that is Phoenix has beaten the Lakers the last 2 times that they played, because the Lakers beat them if we remember going back to the whatever the cup thing is last year. The Lakers won that game, like I think it was 106-103, and then the 2 games after that, the Suns actually beat the Lakers in both of those games. And the other thing is, I didn't mention this, but both of these teams got a game tomorrow. The Lakers don't travel; they got the Kings. And the game. That's why we got to get this one tonight, Cal. But the game tomorrow, the Phoenix also got a game tomorrow. They got Dallas at home tomorrow. Like,
they both have big games. But if we're looking at the schedule, I feel like the Lakers have Minnesota circled, that opener, big game against a team that went to the Western Conference Finals, right? And then Phoenix, they have the Lakers circled, because who cares about the Clippers? That's how I know that's crazy. That's why I stopped talking, because that is. I feel like there's some people watching and are like, yeah, I could see that. I feel like there's at least a few out there, and Durant is like, he's kind of like an emotional guy at times, like he's kind of chip on his shoulder type of guy. I don't mean that negatively, but we've seen his tweets. He's kind of crazy sometimes. I feel like he cares about this game. Sun's up, man. I don't care.
I hope he treats you like the Timberwolves last round in the playoffs last round.
Yeah, 4-0. I went down with the Sun ship last year. It was humiliating. All right, so let me send out the invites to get Toast in them on. Make sure you follow these guys on Twitter. They both have their own daily YouTube shows. Usually you'll find me in the comments, because I'm watching in the morning. Chris is in the morning. Skee's in the afternoon. So make sure you give these guys a follow. Appreciate them taking the time to come on. You guys have anything real quick, 10 seconds. You have anything for World Series, college football, anything tonight you want to throw out there?
Nope.
I'm a Dodger fan. I'll lean Yankees first 5.
Oh, Garrett Cole. Okay. I could see that. Jack Flaherty, they didn't have his best stuff in his last start. Kind of curious to see what Toast has to say.
He's better on the road, too.
All right, so leaning Yankees first 5. Guys, thanks for joining.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Later.
Talk to you later.
Best of luck tonight, fellas.
All right, let's move on over to... Hold on, I have to move myself over into the 2-person template real quick. One sec. All right, make myself a little bigger here. Actually, that's too big. All right, Toast, is that you I hear in my ear? Nope, Andy and Scoop, no Toast. All right, so next up is World Series. And there's Toast there. I feel like I haven't talked to Toast in a month, but really it's only been like three days. All right. World Series, Game 1. I'll put the poll up.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. First of all, how's your life been the last few days?
It's good. Got a big hockey tournament this weekend, so I had a nice little time to prepare for it. Spent a lot of time on college basketball this week, which was nice. Got some Google Sheets working and stuff. Calm down, Andy. We still got a week to go.
Early college basketball is a waste of time anyway.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit.
I can't get into it. All right. So it's World Series.
There are some good games, though. But anyway.
Yeah, the tournaments, but I feel like in February, those wins or losses don't even you don't even talk about them. It's like whatever. Anyway, World Series Game 1, Yankees in Dodger Stadium. I could tell you, I want to go with the Dodgers. Little worried that Jack Flaherty's spin rate, his velocity, everything was down in his last start. Is that fatigue? They were talking about it in the Mets game. They showed the chart, and it was like his last 3 starts. It was like 93.8, 93.6, 93.8, 91.1. Like his shit wasn't looking good in his last start, Flaherty.
Not at all. His velocity is it's velocity and the knuckle curve, which he uses to put guys away, has really fallen off. Back in April 30th, his fastball was around 95 miles an hour. That game against the Mets, it was barely getting up to 92. That knuckle curve that he loves to pitch so much had about 8.3 inches of run on it. And that around April, it's down to like less than 5 inches of run. So, there is definitely concern about Jack Flaherty, that's for sure. That being said, I have a lot of bets in this game. It is the World Series, so again, nothing huge, but just to get him on the screen.
He put his.
Shipley also told you. He also said that your son's bet was a quote unquote bad bet. So
who's what bet?
Your son's bet.
My son's.
Yeah.
Oh, my Phoenix Suns. I was like, I don't have any kids. All right, if my Phoenix Suns bet. It was a bet. All right, so Shipley's Mega Max is Dodgers -1.5. I am actually disappointed in myself that I just took 8 seconds of airtime out to say that. So do you agree? I want to bet the Dodgers. That's what I want to do.
I'm on the other side a lot. Yankees first 5 and full game for me. I also played the over, and I also played the Yankees team total over 4.5.
Wait. Hold on. Let me get
I
all
know,
this up.
that's
You
why.
got the Yankees?
Yankees first 5.
Jesus, you're all over the Yankees here. Are you sure, dude?
I'm very positive. I like where I'm at. That doesn't mean they're going to hit, but I'm very, very confident in where I'm at.
All right. Where the heck are
Do you believe?
All right, so for some reason, all of my bets are off the screen, so I got to bring them back. There we go. So we got Yankees money line. I want to get them on the screen. Yankees first 5. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Over 8.5.
Jesus, you bet all these.
I have 10 bets on the game tonight, including player props.
Wait, so I see
it's the
a
World
Yankees.
Series. What else am I going to do?
All right. So Yankees first 5, Yankees team total over 4.5, and then the full game over. That's what you have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got 3 of them up.
Okay, so let's just go through this really quickly. Okay, Jack Flaherty, obviously a right-handed starter. For me, that's if it would have been anybody else, as far as a lefty's concerned, maybe it's differently. But the Yankees versus righties is a team that I'm going to continue to play on. They kept on giving us these 3.5 numbers in that Cleveland series. We made a shit ton of money off of it here. There's no reason for me to not take the Yankees here against Jack. I think it's going to be a little bit different in game 2 against Yamamoto because I think that he has different stuff than Jack. But Jack using that, we'll get there in a second. But anyway, Yankees, highest WRC plus on the road this season. The Yankees were also the best road team in baseball this season. In game 1 of the playoffs, the Yankees are 2-0. Both those team totals went over. Both of those guys were right-handed pitchers. The Yankees are also a perfect 7-0 against righties in the postseason. This is like their best winning percentage ever. They have an 807 or 805 OPS versus righties in the playoffs, which is an absolute crazy number as a team. But behind that, the Flaherty pitch mix. What does Jack Flaherty throw? A lot of fastballs, a little bit of sliders, a little bit of knuckle curves. He also has a changeup and maybe a little bit of a sinker that you might see. I doubt it. I pray to God he tries to throw that sinker today. I pray to God. Anyway, against that pitch mix, the Yankees, highest WOBA in the league at 365 against those 3 main pitches, and that 360 WOBA, by the way, is 20 points higher than the Padres, who, by the way, got for 4 runs off of Jack Flaherty. And I think that the Mets were in there as well. I just don't have their numbers exactly. And also Jack Flaherty, we talked about him not being able with that velocity with the fastball going from 95 down to 91. The Yankees are the 3rd best team in baseball in that range at 90 to 95 miles an hour against righties, and they're the 2nd best team against right-handed knuckle curves. The Mets, who obviously got to Flaherty, they ranked 10th in that mix. This is going to be a really, really tough matchup for Jack Flaherty. And on top of the fact that the Yankees, I think that I hear a lot about the Yankees having to travel across the country, and that could get to them and whatnot. But man, I mean, it's really hard for me to worry about that in the World Series. I mean, maybe on a random Tuesday in the regular season that I would worry about something like that. But again, not really going to worry about it. And if also take a look at like some of the starting righties that the Yankees saw to in the regular season. We're not talking about the playoffs. Like I said, just at the end of the regular season, Logan Gilbert, Zach Eflin, Corbin Burns, Paul's third place Skeens. I mean, they're seeing like the who's who of right-handed pitching the end of year. Then they saw that Cleveland pitching staff. I know that they made that Cleveland pitching staff look bad, but going into that series, that was the one reason that anybody had faith in Cleveland was because of their pitching. And they made their pitching look really bad. Garrett Cole, on the other hand, again, I trust him on the road. On the road, he's been a much better pitcher this year. Not to mention the fact on the full his last 15 starts on the road, 1.14 ERA, 0.78 WHIP, 306 xFIP. I mean, you can go for the full season. You can stretch it out as much as you want. It really doesn't get much worse than that. He does have a little bit of issue with righty bats compared to lefty bats. I will give you that. So the righties in that Dodgers lineup, Mookie Betts, who's finally found himself. Awesome. That's great. Teoscar Hernandez hasn't had a hit in 2 weeks. Will Smith, if Will Smith beats me, you can have my money. And Kike and Tommy Edman at the bottom of the lineup. Tommy Edman, obviously the ALCS MVP. So not going to make a case, but he is batting ninth, and I think he's batting ninth for a reason. Kike Hernandez has been really good for the Dodgers in the postseason his whole career. I'm not going to try to make a case that he's not, but my point being is that the major lefties like Ohtani, Freeman, Muncy, and Lux is a guy I don't really worry about either. But those main lefties in that lineup, I think that Cole can navigate enough through them. Because again, I do think that the Yankees hold the advantage with the bats. So you flip it over to the bullpens. I don't know what to think. And I will tell you this. The Dodgers,
I do. Are you crazy?
That's awesome. That's awesome. You haven't spent the time on this as I have. Who's pitching for the Dodgers 4, 5, or 6, Kyle? Since you have said
okay, I'll respond by that by saying who's not pitching. Clay Holmes. I don't hope he Clay Holmes. I know that.
Touche. Anyway, I know that Kopech and Phillips are good, but those are the only two arms I worry about. Now that Daniel Hudson isn't going to make the World Series roster, you're going to have guys like Brusdar Graterol and Alex Vesia, which Vesia is a lefty. Yankees obviously struggle against lefties compared to righty bats, but Vesia just got injured in the last series and now he's back. I don't really know what to really expect from him. He's been very good for the Dodgers, very good, like a 1.76 ERA. But again, I don't really know what to expect from him. And then same thing with Graterol. They put Graterol on the roster as well. They took off Kiermaier. And I don't really know what to expect from him. And I feel like you're asking that Dodgers a lot out of that Dodgers bullpen from the guys, Brazier, Vesia, Graterol, Honeywell. You're asking a lot out of these guys if Jack Flaherty can't go very deep into this game. So I have a hard time believing Jack Flaherty goes deep into this game with how well the Yankees bats have shown us to be. And again, we're getting a plus money bet on a team like the Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound. Like if there is a game that the Yankees have to win and that the Yankees are going to pull out as many stops as possible, it's going to be the games that Garrett Cole pitches. So I think that they have a clear advantage in the starting pitching. I think the bats are somewhat of a wash. I do think the Yankees power versus Jack Flaherty gives them a little bit of advantage, but if you made a case for the Dodgers, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you. But again, if you take a look at those bullpens, the Yankees bullpen has been getting the job done. I understand that they've given up a couple, but so is the Dodgers. And the fact that you have two new arms in that Dodgers bullpen that's getting thrust into this action, I don't really know what to expect from them. So if I'm going to get plus money on both of my bets, I like the first 5 a little bit more. I will say that, but at the same time, I'm not going to let a weird price like plus 110 or whatever it is now get me away from the Yankees. So the chances of me being on the Dodgers tomorrow with Yamamoto are very high. And full transparency, I bet the Dodgers blindly already to start this, assuming that Yamamoto would be starting. Obviously, they went with Jack Flaherty. I cashed out right away. So just what I've seen from Jack Flaherty with the velocity diminishing, The balls aren't doing what they need to do. It's just really hard for me to bet them. So I do think the Dodgers score. Like, I'm not trying to make a case that Garrett Cole's going to go out there and throw 7 shutty. I played 8.5 for a reason. I played over 8.5 for a reason. But at the same time, as far as price concerned, and if you go through this game detailed, I like my chances with the Yankees.
The problem is what you're missing is it's the world's.
Go ahead.
It's the World Series, so people visualize this as the 2 best teams in baseball, but that's not what this is. The Yankees probably wouldn't even be the 5th best team in the NL. Every single best team in the MLB was on the other side. So this is not the 2 best teams in baseball. This is the Dodgers against a team that probably has the skill level of the 6 or the 7 seed in the NL. We're getting it at -128. This is light work. Dodgers up.
And also towards that over, Carlos Torres is going to be behind home plate. He is the most hitter-friendly umpire in Major League Baseball this year. So probably going to see some runs here today.
There's a lot of funny comments.
Let me guess. Toast is so bad about the Padres, he can't bet the Dodgers. Oh! Fucking fade him. Fade him.
Kinda, yes. So I think there was a lot of funny ones in there, but I think that's what you should address. There's a lot of comments saying that you're only betting the Yankees because your hate for the Dodgers. Would you like to respond to said comments?
No, I do not. Fade me if you like. I was gonna say, like, if I would have picked the Dodgers, it would have been the same thing on the other side. Again, people forget that I pioneered Dodgers -1.5. People also forget that I've been cashing hand over fist with the Yankees this postseason. So I don't know what to tell you guys.
Right now, this line should be -150, -155.
Get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. All right, we'll talk later. Dodgers up.
He
Money
puts
line.
his face on the thumbnail and he starts giving me get out of here.
This place should be about -148. That's where I have it, -148. That's where I have this one.
If you would have said -140, I would have let it go.
-148, -155, somewhere in there. The way the Dodgers team is hitting, the Yankees played Special Olympics teams getting here, man. This is another
they
league.
played in the AL Central Invitational. Congratulations to them.
They shouldn't even be here.
That one team in the AL Central did have a very, very good bullpen, and the Yankees looked very good against that bullpen. So I have a hard time believing that they're just going to be in shell shock against the Dodgers bullpen. That's just me. Not to mention the fact that is Kopech okay? Because he didn't really look good in the first inning of the last game.
He's fine. He played Grimace. Grimace rocks. Grimace rattles people. All right, let's.
The Yankees don't.
No, not this year's Yankees. Let's move on to some college football. Oh, real quick, in case those of you who didn't hear his bets, I'll scroll through the graphics real quick. Yankees first 5, Yankees team total. Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Stanton over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's mine. Betts Ohtani hit parlay. That's you.
Mm-hmm. And then should be one more.
Ohtani Torres hit parlay. All right.
Yep. That's probably my favorite one because it's at plus money. Both of them are leadoff hitters. So just for the record.
Right.
I love you guys.
Someone said Kyle's just mad because the Dodgers beat the Mets. If you knew me, you would know that I hate the Yankees far more than I hate the Dodgers. Trust me. The Yankees are like a terrorist organization around here in New Jersey.
If you know me, I'm used to the Padres losing every single year. So if I'm going to be mad about the Padres losing, I should just get out of this business.
All right. We're going to college football next. Toast. Talk to you later in the Discord.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Sweet. Get me back on the screen first. Put me back in the middle here. We got 3 college football games. Couple of them are cool, too. I think this UNLV game's going to be fun. And I know everyone hates my bet in that game. In the UNLV game, everyone hates my bet. So we got 3. Andy Scoop. All right. R-Truth. Let's bring these folks on the screen.
Because as much as we all know, Toast doesn't know Seam. Yankees by 3.5 for sure tonight.
Scoop, you're a Yankee fan.
It has nothing to do with my handicapping, sir.
I'm never.
I'm surprised he didn't mention how many runners the Mets left on. The Yankees aren't going to do that.
Oh yeah, they're not. Yeah,
The
you're
Mets
right.
left, like,
They're not going to do that.
45 runners on
You're
base
right.
throughout the
You're right.
series.
They're not going to do that because they're not going to get the runners on to begin with.
Fair.
Gleyber Torres in the first inning is OP on base percentage is 900. Just want to let you know.
Oh yeah.
All right, so first up is Louisville, Boston College. You guys know when I'm on here. I bet Boston College. I took the 7.5. I know everyone has that Virginia Tech game fresh in their heads, and I'm not going to try to pretend that game didn't happen. I'm also not going to try to pretend that the problems that were there in the Virginia Tech game, the turnovers, the mistakes, I'm not going to pretend that they don't exist here. They do. Couple things, though. Number one, I don't like betting expecting turnovers. That's not to say I've never done it. I have. I mean, last night I was expecting Sam Darnold to throw some picks. He didn't, but I was still on the right side. But he didn't throw the pick. I thought he was going to throw an interception. He didn't. I don't like making a habit of expecting turnovers, counting on turnovers, at least counting on more than one. Because you find that you handicap the game and then you're watching it and you're like, I'm clearly on the wrong side here. I need to get lucky. I need a turnover. And it's just not a position I like to be in. If you're betting Louisville expecting the turnovers, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you might be watching this game, like if the turnovers aren't there, it's not going to look like a game where the road team is a 7.5 point favorite. It's good if the turnovers aren't there. These two teams are pretty competitive. Turnovers are a problem, but it wasn't so much that. It wasn't like, hey, the turnovers aren't going to be there. That's not why I bet Boston College. The reason I bet Boston College is I think it's a real nice buy low spot on the Boston College defense. This defense has played really well in their home games. They're coming off back-to-back rough ones. They were both on the road. Now they come back home with extra rest. Louisville's been struggling to get the run going. I think this is a real great spot for the Boston College defense. I think they're able to give Louisville some problems. Louisville's offense hasn't looked nearly as good in their road games. They've gone off. They've gone nuclear at home. But in their two road games, they're averaging just 24 points a game. If you remember, I played that earlier in the year. I took Louisville's team total under against Virginia. I was like, guys, this Louisville offense isn't the same on the road. And I was right in that respect. I won that bet. Here they are on the road again, laying a big-ass number against a Boston College defense that's played really well at home. So I think Boston College defense can give Louisville some problems. If Castellanos protects the football, I don't need him to be Cam Newton. I just need him to protect the football. This should be a competitive game. I took the 7.5. I think I'm on the right side, too. Boston College is a little bit of a public darling, so I would imagine this is going to be a bit of a public dog. Don't care, but I am on Boston College here.
Before I address this game, let me start by saying I have never had one player completely destroy a team like Kyle McCord last night. 3 pick sixes was beautiful. Pitt had 50 yards of total offense in that first half. That was something. I agree with Kyle. Boston College was a disgrace last week. Andy kind of had it right. They're definitely regressing. Especially since Castellanos got hurt, something seemed a little off of them. He's not the same running quarterback from last year. The issue is the turnovers. He's not taking care of the ball running. I mean, he's fumbled 6 times, but as much as he's fumbled, he also made some big plays. Actually, Boston College is ranked in the top 10 in explosive plays, and Louisville defense is definitely bad. They're 85th in EPA per pass. They have no pressure, which will really help Castellanos back there. Louisville just gave up 30 to Notre Dame, SMU, Miami. So this is a good spot for Boston College to get their offense back, I think. Luckily for Louisville, Boston College also has a terrible defense. Both sides of the ball is regressing for Boston College. That the defensive line seems kind of broken. They can't get through an offensive line, and now Louisville is coming in averaging over 12 points a play. But I don't know. Louisville just had that game that went to 100 in Miami. Both of these games are very capable of putting up points. And as bad as Boston College's look, Castellanos can get it going against Louisville's defense. So I'm gonna catch the hook here at 7.5. I like that bet.
Someone said in the comments it's down to 7. I'm not seeing that. I'm still seeing 7.5s everywhere. Am I wrong? I'm still seeing 7.5s.
7.5. Yeah, I've only seen that.
I don't think I've seen this line move all week. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's been pretty pinned at 7.5. But I don't even know what side the action's coming in. I would imagine Boston College is a little bit of a public dog, but after what happened last week, I would imagine the action's coming in pretty split on this one. Andy, what do you think?
I'm gonna be on Louisville here. I kind of the same way I felt about Boston College last week. It's exactly how I feel about them this week, right? They haven't played a good game of football since September 14th. Like it took them being down 28-0 to turn up and even put that game close, and they still wound up getting their ass kicked. So from their standpoint, I don't think they're a very good football team. I think they were overvalued for a while. And I kind of think, yes, Louisville's defense has been pretty bad lately, but you got to respect the opponents. I mean, SMU's a top 25 team. Virginia's clearly a better team than they used to be. And really, the Louisville defense wasn't all that bad in that game. And then they got whipped up by Miami. Miami has the Heisman Trophy, second place in the Heisman Trophy race right now. So, like, none of that pertains to anything Boston College can do. Boston College is certainly not Miami. Castellanos is certainly not Cam Ward. Like, they're not a very, very good offense at all. Their running game is what they want to do, right? They're 25th in run frequency. Well, their running game's really not that good. It hasn't done anything recently. So what they want to do is something they can't really do successfully. They don't match up with Louisville to the way that the teams Louisville's recently played. So from that standpoint, I really don't like the Boston College offense. And for Louisville, I think this offense is just kind of run into a really weird spot where they're going to open it up today. I like Tyler Shugg. I think that he's very good, and I think they've had some weird games recently. But I think this night game, I know it's a road game, but I think he'll be okay. So, yeah, I like Louisville here.
Say So Jones in the comments said, does Boston College have a good run game? They were supposed to entering the season, and it looked good for a few games, but in the last 4 or 5 games, it hasn't looked that good.
They've also gotten away from it.
They've been down on the scoreboard, and they've played a lot of good, really good run defenses. They played Missouri. Like, they played a lot of good run defenses. That being said, Louisville's supposed to be a good run defense, but also Louisville's been getting run on too. So I don't even know.
Louisville's done some running lately too on offense.
You took Virginia Tech at the same number last week. Castellanos bailed you out with some fumbles. This one's at home. He's not going to bail you out.
I mean, let's be fair. You say he's not going to bail us out. He's been doing it since.
No, he's not bailing.
Like, the guy's been doing it. Like, it's like Kyle McCord yesterday. If the guy does it, then it's just something you have to add into your cap.
I didn't think you were going to
talk
about that
interceptions.
game.
Well, then that's a problem.
I already thought we addressed this, so let's not speak of Kyle McCord's name ever.
Yeah, we're not talking
I
about
hadn't
McCord.
addressed it yet.
I know.
Kyle
Kyle
McCord's my best friend today.
It was. I actually said he would make some mistakes. I didn't think he would completely blow up.
He didn't think he would single-handedly lose the football game. So yeah, Boise State minus 3.5, UNLV plus 3.5, over 63.5, under 63.5. All right, poll is running. Whoa, what the heck happened to my? Where the hell is that? You barely see the poll down there.
What the hell is that?
All right, there we go. All right, Boise State UNLV, Mountain West game of the year here, I'd say, right? This is the most exciting Mountain West game. You would have to say whoever wins this one is going to be sitting in the driver's seat for this conference. I know everyone's in love with Genty. I get it. I personally would say against who? I call bullshit on Genty's opponents. That's all I'll say. What do you? Actually, Andy, our truth loves Genty.
Yeah, I have a Genty Heisman that I'm still really excited about. But you do make a good point. Recently, he has been a little bit less video game numbery, if you want to put it
against
that way.
nobodies.
Their last game against Hawaii, I had said Hawaii has a really good run defense. He
my
had like
God.
5.5 yards per carry. No, I mean, going into that game, Hawaii had done a really good job stopping the run this year. And he still had like 5.5 yards per carry, but the success rate was certainly down. So he's been slowed down a little bit. But if 5 or 6 yards per carry is slowing Ashton Genty down, then you have no shot. Like, you can't manage to beat a team that can do that. The way that I think it has to go is if UNLV's going to win this game, they have to make Maddox Madsen beat them. I mean, that's the obvious. That's not a hot take. I just don't think they'll be able to. I have Boise State. I don't think they'll roll. I think they'll comfortably win this game and control this game. I like UNLV. I know it's a home game, so they should have that advantage. But, man, I think this Boise State team around the quarterback, right? Quarterback, probably the only position where I feel like UNLV is the better team. Other than that, Boise State's probably better at every position. They probably got a lot more talent. I mean, this team was built to be this way. UNLV's been a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people this year. I just think the talent outweighs them for Boise State. And if they can stop Ashton Genty, then I'll eat my words. But I don't think that anybody can. So yeah, Boise State.
I think I might be on an island here. I like UNLV.
No, I want to go that way too.
I think this is going to be, this is going to be a really fun game. It was 65.5, totals going down a little. I really think this is both of these teams' hardest opponents the rest of the way. If you look at both of their schedules, I think they can win out after this, personally. And I think this is just going to be a rematch for the championship. I know Boise had the bye, got some rest, but I like catching points here at home. The best thing that happened to UNLV was Sluka crying about NIL deals. Because Malik Williams is a better passer and a better runner. I'm sorry.
Not a better runner.
All right, maybe runner. But like I said a couple weeks ago, Ricky White is an absolute stud. I think this is a nice spot for UNLV. Boise State struggled against the pass. They're 99th EPA per pass, giving up huge chunk plays. We know Ashton Genty. He's going to get his yardage. He's going to get a ton of touches. But this is also the best run defense Boise State's faced so far. It's the only team that's actually in the top 50 in EPA per rush that they faced. So by no means am I going to think that Genty's going to be slowed down. I don't think that, but I'm just saying his rush total is 190.5 for this game. I would personally go under. I'm not as confident in that I've been the rest of the season with him. UNLV should be undefeated going into this one. If they stack the box and make Maddox Madsen throw the ball downfield, I don't really trust him to do that. He's not a great medium or deep pass threat. He's only completing about 50%, over 10 yards passing. So UNLV, I just feel is a more complete team here. I like them at home. One of the biggest games in program history. Especially getting 3.5. I like that number. So I'm going to take them to I think they win this game outright, but I'll definitely take the points.
I mean, I agree if you're betting aside that UNLV has to be this number should not be greater than 3. But I thought the better bet, and again, everyone's going to hate this one. I actually placed this. I took the under at 63.5, and I know based on some of the games we've seen from these teams, you're like, what? This game's going to be 48-46, and I get why you would think that. But both these teams are going to try to run the ball, and both are seeing the toughest run defenses. I mean, they're not going to be able to do it. Boise State's been excellent against the run. I mean, Malik Williams looked really good throwing the ball initially, slowing down a little bit. And Boise State, like I said, I think they're like 11th in the country in yards per carry allowed. Granted, they haven't seen a ton of tough rushing attacks, but Boise State is a tough defensive front here. And UNLV might struggle to run the ball against Boise State. But on the other side, everyone's just fallen in love with this kid Genty, right? Like he's the next NFL superstar running back, and maybe he is. I don't know. But we're not even acknowledging the fact that, I mean, other than Oregon, and by the way, Oregon almost lost to Idaho.
That's the only team they faced.
Yeah, and back in week 2, Oregon almost lost to Idaho, an FCS team. Dan Lanning was holding back half of his playbook for the first. I mean, it's not like a theory. It's very blatantly obvious. They almost lost to an FCS team. They were playing around for 5 games.
You know, 30 to Utah State.
Since that game, I mean, if you look at the last 3 games, when we're seeing Genty's production slow down a bit, we're talking about Utah State. They're 129th in the country in defense. Hawaii, they're 118th in defense. And Washington State, who has a terrible defense. Even the games Washington State's winning, they can't make stops. Against Texas Tech, they won comfortably. Texas Tech had 500 yards of offense in the game. Washington State's defense is terrible. So Boise State, not only are we seeing the rushing production numbers start to come back down to earth, but it's happening against not just bad defenses, terrible defenses, where we're seeing Genty's production start to come down to earth. Now they're going to go on the road to UNLV, a defense that's battle tested, a defense that's seen Kansas. They went into Corvallis and shut down Oregon State's rushing attack. That's probably a top 25 rushing attack right there at Oregon State. They went into Corvallis and shut them down. This UNLV defense is good. I know Syracuse put up a big number on them. That was all through the air. Boise State is not that team. They need to run the ball. Madsen's not going to come in here and throw 380 yards. You kidding me? Madsen gets passing yards because teams put 9 guys in the box. That's the only reason he's able to get passing yards. I think UNLV is able to limit Genty, and I think the game stays under. I do. But I might look really stupid here because this game could very easily be 100 points scored in this game. I mean, these two teams. But I personally like the matchup for the defense. And I also think not just I might like the matchups for the defenses. I also think both offenses are going to stay diligent to the run or try to get the run game going, because I think whoever's able to run the ball wins this football game. So I think both offenses are going to try to be the one that can move the chains on the ground, which should keep the clock rolling. So under.
Somebody did just mention Gentry's yards per carry in the last few games, and I will say his numbers don't look like he's come down to earth. But if you look at the success rates, it's very
way
clear
down.
he's just breaking long runs. The against Hawaii, he had multiple runs, I believe, of 50 yards plus, and then he was getting nothing. Like, they were actually stopping him early. He broke a 50-yard run, and then, oh crap, now he's averaging 5 yards per carry or whatever it was at the time. So they were doing a pretty good job stopping him until he'll break. Like, that's his thing. He will break a 75-yard run. He'll break a 55-yard run, and then his numbers are juiced. And I'll give him credit. That's why he's going to win the Heisman, because his numbers are just getting juiced by that, because he's so hard to contain. But that is what's been happening.
It's the Barry Sanders effect, or so if someone has 19 carries, 1 yard rushing, they've been stuffed at the line of scrimmage, then breaks a 99-yarder. You look at the box score; it's 20 carries, 100 yards, 5 yards a carry. Would that make the statement? Oh, they were running all over him. No,
ask Kyle how much he likes Barry Sanders and Jerry Rice. Let's have a conversation.
I don't dislike them. I don't dislike them.
I was saying the Lions headed your way too. It was, like I said, 65.
Yeah, I mean, I should have got it early. All right, so I'm on the under. So we're on to the next one. I don't dislike them.
I mean, the expectation would be that both teams want to run the ball. The clock should be moving, right? So.
Yes. And I think both defenses are huge tests for the offenses, that both offenses get caught off guard. Next up.
Yeah, it's my team.
So, someone goes, but that's the nature of the run game. Yes, but in the instance I just described, that's 7 points in a full game of running. Do you want to be on the over in that instance? I'm not saying that means like the run game sucks or anything. I'm just saying in terms of placing a bet, if someone's going to break one long run and consistently get stuffed the rest of the game.
Dude, I hope he averages 13 yards per carry tonight. I'm on Boise State. I'm just saying, like, there has been a slowing of what he's been doing.
Next up, Rutgers USC. None of us are able to bet this game. We're all in New Jersey.
Nor would I want.
I think Rutgers is going to really struggle to score here. So the way I would go, I'm not going to waste anybody's time talking about it. Like I said, not unable to bet it. But the way I would go here is, why is this graphic up here? It's weird. I would go towards the USC side, maybe a Rutgers. You know what? I'll type it. I would go. I don't even know if the line's still there. That's how little I've been following this game. Like I said, I can't bet it personally. If I was to bet this game, I would go Rutgers team total under 20.5. Sorry, Scoop. I know you're a Scarlet Knight alum, but that's how I would go.
I'm actually going to the game next 2 weeks, and I'm just
Which one?
Minnesota.
Oh, you're gonna see
Rosemer.
Yeah, Brosburg. Yeah. Honestly, that's a good matchup for Rutgers. I'd be down to play the Scarlet Knights in that one.
Winnable.
This is disrespectful, Kyle. Obviously, I'm rooting for a Rutgers win. Yeah, I truly think that USC smashes the shit out of them this game. I know USC's reeling. They lost their last 3 games, but it was a combined 11 points. I mean, they let Billy Edwards throw for 370 yards. And it's not because Rutgers is terribly inept. It's because their injuries are piling up and they don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball efficiently. And it doesn't help that 2 of their starting linemen are out. Now another rotational lineman, so he has no time to throw the ball. And now one of their leaders on defense, Torrey, is out for the season, who may be the only person capable in the front 7 that could stop a run. The talent discrepancy is just too much here. Woody Marks may not have had a great year so far. I think Joyner should be starting anyway. But either way, either one of them are going to find holes on Rutgers' defensive line and the linebackers here. Rutgers, obviously, a decent running game. Monunga is their whole team pretty much. But I feel like USC is going to get out early. And as much as Rutgers will want to stay with the run, they're going to need Kalimanis to throw the ball. And trust me, he cannot do that. So Miller Moss will be able to drive down the field. Rutgers traveling all the way across country. USC on a Friday night. Yeah, USC is 3-0 against the spread at home. This is going to be a blowout. If anyone wants to trust Rutgers offense, see what happens. Find out.
Find out. That sounded like a threat.
Jesus.
That being said, if you're looking to play Rutgers here, Kali Ekmanis should have time to throw in the pocket. And you know what? Let's give him a little bit of credit. He was making some throws against UCLA. So, I mean, there's your path to victory. Rutgers is probably going to struggle to run the ball here, which usually means Rutgers can't do shit. That being said, USC's pass rush has been wildly disappointing this year. They're not pressuring the quarterback. Kali Ekmanis should have time to throw. If you think Kali Ekmanis is a decent Big Ten quarterback, probably should take the plus 14 because he's going to have opportunities. But I think by the graphic below my face, you know how I feel about Cal McManus. Go ahead, Andy.
USC has lost twice this year. They followed both of those up. One was against Wisconsin. They won 38-21, 38 at home, and then they lost to Minnesota, came back home and played Penn State, and they scored 30. They did lose in overtime. They did score 30 on Penn State's defense. Those are both better defenses than Rutgers and healthier defenses than Rutgers. I think just defensively, Rutgers is going to be screwed here. And if I think that USC is going to have 30 to 35 points, means do I think Rutgers is going to get 17? Probably not. I don't think that they're going to get much done on offense either. This is pissed off Lincoln Riley, which usually he coaches well. Although at this point, I think he's coaching for his job. I think that if they lose this game, you could very well see him lose his job in the coming week. So I think backs against the wall, USC is a dangerous team. So I'm gonna go with blowout alert here. I think they can crush that tonight.
Blowout.
Yeah, I love that my team reduces to if you lose to Rutgers, you're gonna get fired.
I mean, if he loses a game to Maryland and then loses a game to Rutgers, he's gone. There's no surviving that.
If you lose to this shithole of a team,
yeah.
He called USC the mecca of college football. Sorry. If he loses,
Lincoln Riley said that.
Yeah, when he got hired, he called it the mecca of college football.
I thought they have problems selling out those games.
They sure do, because he sucks. That's why.
It's not because of Lincoln Riley. It's because no one cares.
They used to be selling that out every single
at the Coliseum.
Now
right?
they're not a very good football program.
No, that's not why, bro. It's because the venue's different, right? They're not in the Coliseum.
I mean, it is a little bit far away from campus, but that never used to be an issue.
All right, let's do the community
now.
parlay. Let's hit the song.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We communite, making a parlay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do the community parlay, and then let's go enjoy our Friday night.
I hope so.
So first off, we got to include NBA and the World Series in here. So this is going to be
another interesting one.
Yeah. So we got.
I mean, yesterday's was an interesting one. Yeah.
Well, Syracuse got robbed.
Yeah, Syracuse is in it. That's right. Magic 76ers.
Because
you guys voted for the Pistons, and you guys voted for the Hornets. A lot of NBA dogs being played in this one. Cast your votes. Someone goes, that song is trash. I love it. Someone goes, Vanderbilt's the real Mecca.
Dude, they're great, man.
To call anything other than a team down south the mecca of college football is laughable.
I almost laid the 18 and a half with Texas. I still might, by the way.
I think I am as well. Going to
Vanderbilt about to get their teeth.
No, man. You guys are disrespectful to the god Pavia.
Go look at their numbers
Texas
against
won
the
last week.
I refuse to look at any numbers in
I would
Vanderbilt right now.
considered it.
Well, on the live show tomorrow, you're going to have to talk about the game.
I will, don't worry.
Quinn Ewers is possibly going to throw for 400 yards.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Pavia's going to run for 380.
Okay.
All right, Scoop.
All right.
For free, as the kids say.
I hope they beat Texas. I want Texas eliminated at this point, but
I mean, you guys
not gonna happen.
You guys certainly put the first nail in that coffin.
Yeah, certainly.
With an exclamation point. Second leg, cast your votes. Yeah, see, everyone in the comments is saying Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, everyone's taking Vandy.
The YouTube community knows what they're talking about.
No, it's because they're not seeing things.
Bunch of sharps.
Texas is about to hang 45 points on Vanderbilt.
Yeah, 45-31.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's going 31 points on
Take
Texas.
the
That would
over.
be
Take the over.
I mean,
Actually, I saw who someone's on the under, Andy. I forget who it was. Someone's on the under, but
yeah, I would.
no, I think it goes over.
I think Texas could Texas is gonna be most of the scoring. So if it's really the way that I think it is, and I think Texas is just pissed off and they're gonna try to score 50, 60 tomorrow, like that, then I think the over is gonna hit. And unless Texas is gonna be respectful, but I don't necessarily think they are.
After the Georgia loss, they're not going to be
No.
respectful.
After
they
losing
gotta
to Georgia
try to
at home,
score.
they
Also,
can't be respectful.
Sarkisian, he just kind of strikes me
Oh,
as
he's
a
a dick,
disrespectful
dude.
He's a disrespectful dude. I know you personally hate him.
I don't hate him. I just think he's
You
a dick.
Yeah, he
definitely.
doesn't hate anyone. He's a
No,
lovely
Andy
guy.
doesn't like him, and then whenever he says something unreasonable about Sark, he goes, "What? I don't hate him," even though what he
I
said
don't
was
hate
like
Sark. I
ridiculous.
just think he's an asshole. I mean, it's
Because you hate him. All right, so Pelicans money line, Lakers money line. You guys like the Lakers, and then we'll put Yankees money line. Yeah, we'll just do those three: Pelicans money line, Lakers money line, Yankees money line.
oh, this guy said Andy. You're not allowed to talk about Andy anymore. And I was like, what is he talking about? And then he meant Vandy.
Vandy?
My bad.
Vandy.
I give Vandy credit. Vandy has proven me wrong every single way, every
Yeah, they
single
have.
time. To be fair, the 2 games I think we've done of them, they've proven me wrong.
I bet Kentucky against Vanderbilt. They beat me.
That's actually 3 games. 3 games now, because I had Bama too. I mean, to be fair, everyone in college football, everybody that talks college football all week had Vanderbilt getting their asses kicked that week.
Someone
didn't.
said, "Give us Silverback, Kyle." I mean, he uploads every single day on YouTube. It's not like I'm hiding it from you. I just talked to him a couple weeks ago. He does. He said that he. Damn it! What NFL team was it? I forget. The Bills. Oh, apparently he lives in the Buffalo area, so I'm gonna bring him on to talk about a Bills game.
You disappointed me today when you said that the early college basketball sucks. It's not.
Well,
does suck.
it's just that I kind of agree with
It
Kyle that
sucks.
like
It does not
the I mean, and it doesn't suck as in watching it. It's great. I just think it's like Kyle said, if someone wins,
Means
on
nothing.
week 1 on a boat, then the week 28. I mean, the game 28 was not going to matter. They're
When
not
we're
gonna look at
talking
that.
about the committee and Selection Sunday and all that,
Oh,
no
yeah,
one gives
yeah.
a shit about what happened. So
From
who
that
cares?
point,
They're
from the
playing on a-
standpoint of
they're
it
playing on a
meaning
tanker.
anything, it doesn't mean much. But unless you're like you're gonna be a bubble team, but it means, it means a lot to like seeing who's good and like learning about what
No, it
teams are gonna
doesn't.
be doing what this season.
No, it doesn't.
The first week doesn't because they're all playing Tennessee Tech
in the
and
Bahamas.
yeah, but it starts to matter pretty quickly.
It's
Maui
fun to watch.
Invitational is like the best sporting event of the year.
Let's
You know,
go.
no, it's not. I'm not even gonna watch a second of it.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I'm gonna watch.
No, I mean I might because you guys are about to come on this show and talk about it.
I just can't wait to talk to Toast again. I'm really excited.
Me too. I missed Toast this week.
I mean, we talk to him almost every day, but in general on the show.
I don't think I've talked to him in a few days. That was the first time.
It had been like 2 or 3 days. for
His
me.
his beard has grown as if we haven't talked in a month and a half.
And it's all growing bad because the Padres lost. It's like spots
Yeah, like,
here.
things are falling apart. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boise State money line. Someone said can't wait for college basketball. Yeah, I mean the live show is popping. Our most watched live show ever to date is the March Madness show. People
Yeah,
were
it's fun.
going. We had a lot of people in there. All right, so
It's,
Matt,
sorry.
go ahead. What is it?
Plus 852.
Magic money line, Pacers money line, Yankees money line, Boise State money line plus 852 is the community parlay. Thanks everyone for watching. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., College Football Saturday. We'll be live for 2 hours. We're going through how many games, Andy?
27, I believe it is.
27 games on the docket tomorrow. So we'll see you in the morning. Everyone, bet responsibly tonight. My bets are posted on same spot as always. So talk to you guys later.